I'm joined here from my right to left, Pat Lynch, Juanita Holmes, Terry Monahan, obviously the mayor to my left, Rodney Harrison, the Brooklyn DA, Eric Gonzalez, the man of the hour, Dr. Frater, thank you very much for all the help from the hospital, Judy Harrison from Brooklyn North, and somewhere is the CEO of the precinct here, John Buttacavalli. On this Christmas Eve into Christmas, I would say that somebody is absolutely looking out for us here in the NYPD tonight. Not only tonight, but with the officer in hand, but every man and woman out there putting a gun and shield on and going out there to protect New Yorkers. I will thank God that we are not here under more dire circumstances. I'm joined here tonight, again, by everyone that I mentioned at Kings County Hospital Center, and I cannot thank them enough for the service that they do, not just today, but throughout the last 6 to 7 months through this difficult time for New York City. First, the mayor is going to say a few words, and then I'll detail what we know at this preliminary point in time.
Thank you, Commissioner. First of all, everyone, Kings County Hospital, once again, is there for our officers. Incredible work. Thank you to everyone at Kings County for what you've done tonight. I want to be very clear. It's Christmas Eve. This is a time when you would expect peace. You would expect harmony. What happened tonight? A man threatened his girlfriend, threatened her violently, said he was coming to do her harm. That's what happened tonight in Brooklyn. And because the NYPD was there, that woman is alive right now. Because our officer put himself in harm's way, an innocent woman is alive tonight. Our officer, thank God, is going to be okay. You'll hear from the commissioner. Thank God the vest he was wearing protected him and his partners protected him. But what I want everyone to really focus on is here is a time when we would expect people to treat each other with greatest kindness, and instead, a woman's life was in danger. The only reason she is alive tonight is because our officer was there, his partners were there, the NYPD was there. And we know that during the COVID crisis, we've seen horrible incidents of domestic violence. We know during the holidays, unfortunately, tragically, a lot of the worst instincts come out in some people. So I want to remind anyone out there who feels in danger, that you can call the domestic violence hotline. It's 800-621-HOPE, H-O-P-E. Anyone who feels in danger, help is there for you. As you saw tonight, the NYPD saved the day, saved a woman's life. We went, Commissioner and I, we went to see the parents of our officer. The look of relief on their face is unforgettable. But also they felt that this was a Christmas miracle, that their son is alive and well. Thank God for that. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the investigation is just a couple of hours old. As you know, it is still a very active crime scene with our force investigations personnel as well as Chief Rodney Harrison's Detective Bureau personnel. What we have right now is that approximately 8:54 p.m. this evening, a series of 9/11 calls were made. I listened to the calls myself personally. What you heard was a mother calling 911 repeatedly and essentially saying, get here quick, get here now. He's going to come over here and he's going to shoot the place up. What she was referring to was her daughter's boyfriend. At least 2 calls as of this point in time that we have are made, and the urgency of the voice cannot be understated. Our officers from the 77th Precinct arrive at 1798 Bergen Street and meet up with the complainants from that apartment. It is a private house, 3rd floor. As they are interviewing the daughter in a scenario eerily similar to just a couple of weeks ago in Queens, the perpetrator arrives, preliminary looking at the body cameras, myself, Terry Monahan, You see incredible bravery by the officers. You see the girlfriend point out, and next thing you hear, shots being fired. Our officer is struck once in the back. Where it penetrates the vest, approximately right here, and does not penetrate the skin. I could tell you we cannot be more thankful again to the doctor and his team for the service and taking care of our officer. Terry, can you hold? Yep. In terms of the service that they got. He is in a little pain, but he is in extremely good spirits, and we anticipate that he will be going home shortly. The suspect, the 20-year-old man, after immediately firing the shot, we had another team of officers on the scene that saw the shot being fired and immediately engaged the perpetrator with, we believe at this point in time, at least 7 shots fired by our 2 officers. A foot pursuit ensues, which lasts approximately 1 to 2 blocks, which is captured in its entirety on body camera, where eventually one of the officers catches up to the perpetrator at gunpoint, warns him, I stopped counting at least 10 times to drop the gun, and eventually the perpetrator puts the gun down on the sidewalk, lays down, and he's taken into custody without any further violence. I'm going to turn it over to Pat Lynch right now, and then I'll open it up for very brief questions.
You know, what we're doing here is reminiscent of another Eve. Thanksgiving Eve, we were at another hospital, and we stood here and said the same words. We said, wow, we were lucky. Wow, they were brave. We have to start asking the question, why is this happening? Why does a perp feel bold enough to shoot at a police officer? That's the question we have to ask and we have to answer. And there's a number of reasons this is happening. Lack of support on the street, defunding the police, bail reform, lack of prosecution. That's why this is happening. Where a perp has no fear to pull out a weapon and shoot a gun. Sometimes they're not the worst perps in the world, but they're still doing it. We have to stop saying we're lucky. We have to stop counting our equipment. There has to be fear in the hearts of the perps that they know if they shoot at a police officer, they won't walk the streets. Let's see what will happen. Let's see when we come to New Year's Eve. I hope we're not here again.
So as the clock turns now around Christmas, I think we'll call this the Christmas miracle, because when we talked to the officer and his parents, and Terry and I stood back in the room and looking at his duty jacket with a clear hole in the back, and then you look at the vest with the hole, and that it stopped just before it penetrated the skin. Thank God. Terry has a picture of the perpetrator's firearm. Our officer is 27 years of age with about 2.5 years of service to the people of this great city, and I'll open it up for some brief questions.
Commissioner, what can you tell us about the perpetrator, 20 years old? Have you had a chance to see if he had any priors, or what's his criminal history?
We're still digging into that. We do not see any criminal history at this point in time.
Commissioner, any domestic incidents prior to this at that address?
We have at least one prior domestic incident between the girlfriend and the perpetrator in this case. Whether it happened at that exact location, I'm not even sure, but at least one at this point in time. Very preliminary. That was about a month or 2 ago.
Was the suspect shot by any of the 7 shots that the officers fired?
The suspect was not shot during this encounter. To my knowledge, he has no injuries. One more, last one. All right, thank you everyone. Merry Christmas.